Good morning, students. I am Amos Michael, teaching physics in Mount Zion Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Pudukkottai. So, what are the learning objectives of this class? We are going to discuss the different types of frictions, that is, static friction, sliding friction, and rolling frictions. And this class is the continuation of the previous class. So, we are going to see two more activities regarding dependence of friction. So we know that the types of forces are broadly classified into two types. One is contact force, another one is non-contact force. I already told you what is meant by contact force. A force which can be exerted by an object on another object only through physical touching is called contact force. So a force which can be exerted by an object on another object even from distance, that means without physical touching, is called a non-contact force. What are the examples for contact force? Muscular force, a frictional force. What are the examples for non-contact force? Magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force. What are the factors affecting the friction? The first point is the nature of the two surfaces. What do you mean by nature? Here the nature, the word means smoothness or roughness. So the friction, it mainly depends on the smoothness or roughness of the two surfaces. The second point is the force with which the two surfaces are pressed together. That means if the two surfaces are pressed harder, then there will be more friction. If the two surfaces pressed together is lighter, then there will be a lesser friction. And here you have to note that the friction doesn't depend on the amount of the surface area of the two objects which is in contact with each other. So dependence of friction on the nature of the two surfaces. So what is the ultimate aim of this activity? To show that the friction depends on the smoothness or roughness of the two surfaces that are in contact. We require a brick, polythene paper, and a spring balance. What are going to do? So here this is the brick. The block of brick or wood is pulled with a spring balance. This is a spring balance which is used to measure the frictional force. So a block of wood is pulled with a spring balance on the surface of the table. When the block starts moving, the reading of the spring balance represents the magnitude of the frictional force. So what we are going to do now is, first of all, we are going to wrap a piece of polythene. We are going to wrap a piece of polythene, that is for smoothness, around the brick, and we are going to start pull the spring balance. The reading of the spring balance gives the magnitude of the force of friction between the two surfaces, that is the surface of the brick and the floor. Here you note down the reading of the spring balance and let it be the first reading or simply reading 1. Now what is the next observation? And this time you wrap a jute cloth around the brick and repeat the activity once again. And we find that the reading of the spring balance is greater than the first reading, indicating the force of friction has increased. So what is the inference? When the surface of the brick is made more smooth, the friction with the floor decreases. On the other hand, when the surface of the brick is made more rough, the friction with the floor increases. So from that we are going to conclude that friction depends on the smoothness or roughness of the two surfaces. So next activity is dependence of friction on the force with which two surfaces are pressed together. So we take two boxes of same size, this one and this one, but one is light and other is heavy. You imagine this box is made up from wood, and this is made up from iron metal. And it is easier to push this box, that is the lighter box, because it presses the floor with less force. It presses the force with the less force, and hence the friction is less. It is difficult to push a heavy box, that is this box. Why? Because it presses the floor harder, that means with greater force, and the friction is very more. So what is the inference? The friction between the two surfaces depends on the force with which the two surfaces are pressed together. The force of friction will be more when the two surfaces are pressed harder, and conversely the force of friction will be very less when the two surfaces are pressed lighter. Here we are going to see this. The friction is caused by the interlocking of irregularities of the two surfaces when one object is placed over the other object. You look at this diagram, this is a surface. There are two surfaces, and you look at the irregularities on the surface. So these two irregularities at the surfaces, they get interlocked. As a result, the frictional force between the two surfaces will be very high. If the surfaces of the objects are pressed together harder by a greater force, then the friction will increase. You look at the video. Here, two boys pushes the cupboard and a single boy pushes the desk very easily. What happens? Desk has a smaller mass, so it presses the floor with a lesser force. So it is easier to move the desk. Why? Because of less friction. And at the same time, it is very difficult to move this cupboard because the cupboard has a big mass. As a result, it presses the floor harder and more friction. So here the mass of the object determines the friction force. So smaller mass means lesser friction and bigger mass means more friction. So we are going to see all the laws of friction with a single video. You look at this. Here the car is moving in this direction. So this arrow mark, it indicates the direction of the car, and this arrow mark, it indicates the frictional force. Where does the frictional force will act? It will act between the surface of the tire and the surface of the road, and it will act always opposite to the direction of motion. Okay. So what is the first point? The force of friction acts between two objects in contact with each other. So the two objects must be in contact with each other. Then only the force of friction will act between those two surfaces. And the second point is the force of friction opposes the motion of object. Already I told you. The third one is it acts in a direction opposite to the direction of motion of the object. So if the car moves in this direction, naturally the frictional force will tend to resist the speed of the car. That means the frictional force will act opposite to the direction of motion of the car. And the next point is a rough surface exerts more force of friction than a smooth surface. Here this is a road, it is very rough, so it will exert more force, frictional force. Here you look at this surface, this tile surface. This is a very smooth surface. Okay, so it offers a less friction. So next, what are the three types of friction? One is static friction, another one is sliding friction, and the third one is rolling friction. We will see one by one. What is a static friction? A static friction is a force that keeps an object at rest. In other words, a static friction can also be defined as the frictional force that acts between the two surfaces when they are at rest with respect to each other. Generally, the rougher the surface or heavier the object, then the static friction will be very high. So here the maximum frictional force present between any two objects when one object just tends to move or slip over the surface of the other object, it is called static friction. A demonstration of static friction. To know the magnitude of the static friction, that is our aim. What are the materials required? A wooden block, a table and a spring balance. Here already we have seen this setup. This is a block of wood and this is a spring balance which is used to measure the frictional force. So here the block of wood is pulled with a spring balance on the surface of the table. Then when the block of wood starts moving, the reading on the spring represents the magnitude of the frictional force. So what is the observation? When we apply a force on a wooden box, it does not move because its motion is affected by the force of friction. When we apply a force little more than the frictional force, the block of wood tends to slip or move on. Now the spring balance shows the reading of 5 Newton. Inference: the magnitude of static friction between the wooden box and the tabletop is 5 newtons. So static friction is a kind of starting friction. So it is a starting friction because an object just tends to start moving, it does not actually move. It tends to start moving, it begins to start moving, but it does not actually move. The object remains static. What do you mean by static? Rest or stationary. So the object remains static in this case. So in this case of static friction, the object is actually not moving or sliding over the other object. It just tends to, that means tends means starts, begins. It just tends to move or slide. That's all my students. I hope you will be very clear with these topics. We will continue in the next class. Thank you very much.